Hello.
Hi. Hi.
I am so sorry.
So,
I'm so sorry for what I'm about to do to you. I just need to say that in advance
explain
before
to
you
the
introduce
people.
yourself.
Explain.
Before like you say
Hello.
like, hello, my name is this, my name is that. First off, this woman is a victim of my actions and what I'm about to have them partaken. This was my idea, but before they introduce themselves, I just want to be clear that I had Ukrainians in my text messages, not on Discord, not in email. I mean, Ukrainians that I've just met going throughout the country, texting me saying, do people actually believe this? Do people actually in the United States think the things that I just heard on this little snippet from YouTube, from a channel that has millions of subscribers, videos that have hundreds of thousands of views, is this something that's really believed in like veteran circles or XYZ circles? Because this is like a channel that's really popular with veterans. And then they ask like, Dylan, you got to do something about this. And I'm like, what do you mean do something about this? I don't know exactly. Like, did you want me to like report them to the truth police? Like, I have no clue what you mean. But I thought, what can I do about somebody worried that, you know, there might be a message getting out that isn't 100% accurate. Now, I'm sure they're going to prove us wrong. And I'm sure you're about to learn a lot about the war from an American in the United States. I'm sure you're going to learn a lot from this guy. But I wanted to make sure that we brought on a Ukrainian that could give a perspective that I can't. And I also just felt like I hadn't tortured my good friend enough.
It's his side of the story, okay? But it's correct. But there's my side of the story. So he was like, do you want to like, I want, you know, if you can react to this thing on like my channel. And like, sure, my good buddy Dylan Burns, surely he would not sabotage me with anything in, you know, with abysmal dog shit. So I'm checking the video he has sent me. I know nothing about the people there. First time I'm like seeing them. And I'm listening to like 2-ish minutes and I close it. Yeah, that's it pretty much. So you're gonna get a fresh reaction because I didn't want to watch it 2 times. Okay, it's like it's too much. I don't want to watch it 2 times, so I'm gonna watch it 1 time now, and hopefully it gets less disgusting as it goes. But I can see why so many Ukrainians have been a little bit concerned by this video because that's some top tier dog shit. Like it's quite good in terms of dog shit, you know. So
and you're only like 2 minutes in. Like you took like the first bite of the steak, and then immediately. Yeah. Just react. I mean, like the first bite of the dog do, and immediately was like, wow, this is dog do.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't bitten a steak in quite some time, but your metaphor is apt, I imagine.
Oh yeah, I forget that you like hug trees.
Oh. Anyway, guys, it's gonna be rough. Also, you're not getting nice Anastasia today. I'm sorry, because like I'm pretty pissed off today, and I also haven't slept in a while, and I also feel pretty ill, so I'm gonna be mad. And yeah,
I'll limit my like vegan like colored hair girl joke. I'll limit it today.
You can go off if you want, but, well, what can you do? It's not as bright as it used to be. As my soul, it darkened. So the hair isn't as, you know, aggressively social justice warrior aesthetic, basically.
My hair has darkened with my soul. Started real Savchenko vibes over here, really throwing out the colorful language. Okay, you ready? You ready for this abuse?
Yeah, you gotta tell me what I click though, because I typically just don't engage with the React
I'll get this open for us. Let me just full screen this, and okay, so yeah. I'm gonna share screens on Discord, and after I share screens on Discord, we're gonna be. You just have to click the link. You just got to do that. That's all you need to do.
You're like in DM. Or like,
no,
or just
like in the call, in the call that we're in.
Oh, in the call.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see this fucking guy. Yes. Oh, yes, I see it.
Is that his official name?
I don't care really. It's blubber, and he does blubber a lot, so that fits. Delta Force commander. My God, I didn't read that when I was watching first 2 minutes. Okay, that makes the situation a little bit less, a little bit more awful. But be prepared to pause though, because I'm gonna go off. I feel like.
Okay. One moment. Let me just get this sorted. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Be a ceasefire, unless it's part of. It's over, they've agreed on something, but Russia's not going to agree to just a plain ceasefire. They'll agree to the terms that they put forward. The 5 oblasts, the size of the Ukrainian army, how
are they even getting anybody to fight? 1.25 million dead?
I could pull out my I show these every Tuesday on the podcast I do on CDM Media, and it's also on my Substack. We show every week the forced conscription. They're beating, they're tackling people, men in the streets, beating them, forcing them into vehicles, and the fights are unbelievable.
That's their recruitment. They beat the shit out of their people to fight for their country.
Yep. And so I've said this numerous times. I believe never in the history of warfare has a country won a war where they had to force their soldiers to join.
Fucking.
Yeah.
Stop, please, for a second. Yeah, I will try to not yell every word. I think I did okay. I didn't yell so far. So, yeah. So, listen, it's... At first, I was like, how do they, when the bald guy asked, like, how do they recruit people? I was like, maybe he's talking about Russia? Because that's like incredulous, like sort of, how can you even make people go do this war? And I was like, okay, that's going to be a decent conversation. But no, they're talking about Ukrainian people. So how do you recruit people in a defensive war against the invader? Well, pretty much like anyone else in the world does. By, conscription. That's how you do it. And it annoyed the ever-living shit out of me because we have such a unique example here. We didn't do forced conscriptions almost like a year and a half during massive invasion because there were so many volunteers that we didn't need to. So this is like, if I'm not mistaken, I think the number was around 600,000 to 800,000 people that are volunteers, that volunteered to be in Ukrainian armed forces. And we have about less than 1 million active personnel. So do your math there. And we only started doing like actual conscription later on. And what is actually hilarious is even now we have 1 to 3 volunteer and conscription rate. So this is just such abysmal dog shit from the get-go that, yeah, I can see why Ukrainians got mad. Yeah, let's go.
It is uniquely enraging, and there's not a mention of, hey, there's conscription in occupied territories. Like the only people that are forcefully mobilized are the peoples that they conquer on the Russian side, or yeah. And I'm sorry, before I forget, the beating up of people, they always bring this shit that they post videos online of TCK, which is like the guys who do like the checking the documents, like conscription and stuff like that online. And they post like a couple of videos without any context. So we don't know what those people did. Did they like start to fight and run away? Did they react in what way? It is to be said, though, that there are incidents with TCK that are gross, than when they do aggressive stuff against people, when they beat them with no reason, because it's a human thing, and there are always some sort of power imbalance going on, obviously, right? So I have zero things against reporting that or fighting against that or being vocal about this, but they turned this whole situation into a fucking shit show to say that every man that is on the front has been beaten
to submission and dragged towards the front. That's just objectively not true. And never mind the fact that people who get you oftentimes dragged, quote unquote, are the people who are unfortunately breaking the law. And the law is that you have to be registered. For example, we have an app called DIA, as you know, and there is a Reserve Plus, which is like a Reserve Plus thing that you have to register there because it is martial law and it is war, right? You have to be registered there. That doesn't mean you will be immediately dragged to the front when you're registered, but it is illegal to be a draft soldier. Like, I don't know, it has been the case in all wars, in all history of humankind, that you get drafted and conscripted. Is it dog shit? Yes, it is, but it's not our choice to fight this war. So it's not like we conscripting people to go fight somewhere else, right? For enforcing them and jailing them for not agreeing to it. It's, you know, it's unfortunate, very much so. It's horrible that people have to fight, but what else can we do? So this is just on all levels retarded. And the actual crime is conscripting our own people that Russians do in occupation and force them to fight against their own population. That's a crime, but never mentioned, of course.
And it also feels like just so out of touch. Like the way he says, I don't think any country has ever won a war by forcefully conscripting their own people. What is he talking about? There are so many. The Soviet Union beat Nazi Germany through the policy of mass conscription of basically anybody that could hold a rifle. Like it was an entire generation was killed on the bayonet to stop the Nazis. I mean, then they won. That's how they did it, through mass numbers.
Two of my grandfathers, my mother's line, were in World War II in Red Army, right? And they didn't volunteer, like none of them, neither of them. Both of them were thrown on the line because there was conscription. You know, it's just, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, you conscripted United States, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
and like
we conscripted to win the Civil War. We conscripted to win World War II. We had conscription, I believe, in World War One. I'm sorry, I'm not from that age. Like, I'm not that old, but I mean, I was raised by a generation that was also conscripted. My grandfather was a U.S. Marine in Vietnam. You know, Vietnam was also a war where we didn't win, but we had conscription. But there was a lot of wars where people had conscription and didn't win. I don't know where this. He says it as if like, I don't believe. Like he's pondering, like, you know, I've never thought about this before. Yeah, you haven't.
Our dear Anna. Our goddess.
Yeah, I mean, he says that to add the emotional weight, basically. It's deliberate, the way he said it, to say that they're not going to win Ukraine because they don't want to fight, because they're forced to fight. That's sort of like the actual message he's trying to sell here. So, yeah, let him go on, but yeah.
I do want to put forward, this is frustrating, but T-Rex did give me $20 to basically just praise you. So... thank you for giving me money because Anna's cool. I like that system. I think that system should continue.
Okay, thank you very much. That's lovely. Make me a little happier right now, but just a little, to be honest. Yeah, let's go.
No one wants to join the...
oh, I hate those two in advance. Those fuckers.
It's also this. What is this set, by the way? Can I just put forward? What is this set? Is that two lamp? Is a golden? What is that in the background? Why have a painting in the background if the painting's going to be blurry? What? Sorry.
I don't know. For vibes, I guess.
It is vibed. It looks gold, like a golden trim. You know, it looks luxurious.
Yeah.
Yeah. The projecting bougie.
So, you know, Ukraine took Zelenskyy and Ukraine took a lot of criticism from Biden, Jake Sullivan, and Austin, that they did not immediately draft 18 to 23-year-olds. They started, I think, at 25. They went down to 23. They
27?
Haven't drafted, but they've done the selective service thing. But when Zelenskyy established martial law, he closed the borders. So 18 to 23-year-olds were not allowed to leave the country.
Wow.
He just changed that about 6 to 8 weeks ago.
Sorry, can you pause for a second?
Every board.
Sure. Also, thank you for all the gifted subs. You're all very nice. And every time you give me a sub, it's like, what's those things the Catholic Church used to collect? Like where it forgave your sins? It was like reservation tickets for heaven.
Oh, fuck, I don't remember how they call.
Well, I don't know their name, but they're very legitimate from my channel. It's something similar to that system. What were you gonna say, Anna?
I'm gonna say like martial law. He brings it up as it's some martial law. Zelenskyy, that dictator, declared martial law. Yeah, bitch. Like our cities were under attack and occupied and invaded. Obviously, you fucking declare martial law. Who else? What else leader of the country would not do that? Like not declare martial law, which prohibits people of a draftable category to leave the country. It's just normal shit that he's pointing out as some sort of mind-blasted wowza moment. And yeah, people, and by the way, I don't understand this point at all that he brought up recently, that we were pushed to lower our conscription age and we were criticized. That's true. We were pushed and we were criticized, but why is he bringing up as an anti-Zelenskyy point? Because he paints Zelenskyy as this like evil dictator who drags people up to the front, and then he says they didn't want to drag young people to the front. We had 27, then we had 25, and so what was the point? It contradicts his own actual point that we didn't want to do it because obviously we didn't want younger people to suffer. We were criticized over that because most other countries have 18 plus conscription. So if anything, we have incredibly tolerant conscription, much more tolerant than most other countries. So what do you mean, my guy?
Demographics or the issues with demographics in Ukraine, or I mean, not only in Ukraine, but in Ukraine especially when it comes to why Zelenskyy is particularly protective of people between the ages of 18 and 23.
Because they have Asian population, yeah. Yeah, like most other countries, to be honest. It's not like just Ukraine's problem, but yeah, we have Asian population, and considering how that many younger people left the country, that of course, being careful with those who are still here, and there's a majority of them who are still here, is something that we are concerned by, and also it causes public backlash always in any country when younger people gets either of the mothers, of the parents of the younger people. Like, it's a pretty difficult thing to do and difficult thing to deal with. But like, yeah, if anything, our conscription is extremely fucking tolerant and progressive, because like absolute majority of countries I am aware of have 18-year-old limit of drafting people. So the fuck. Yeah, let's go.
Not to mention, I'm pretty sure the United States also just changed its age standards when it comes to this as well. This was something that was recently adjusted by Pete Hegseth's Defense Department. Oh, sorry, Department of War. Oof.
Department of War. Yeah.
Border crossing was swamped. All the 18 to 23-year-olds pretty much have either fled. Yeah. And what does that tell you?
All
it tells you.
Sorry, nothing. Let me go on. It just retarded in itself. Doesn't need commentary. Yeah.
That the messaging, 1, 2, 3, what are we fighting for, doesn't make sense to the actual people who are supposed to do the fighting. So when you have these actual citizens of Ukraine fleeing, fighting for their lives, bystanders join in and help the recruits against these
fucking
you'll see massive fights, and women too come over. They start beating on these guys.
Even women.
This happens every day.
Can you please fucking stop this guy? Jesus, someone needs to stop this guy. The phrase nobody knows what they're fighting for is the least applicable phrase ever uttered about Ukrainian people. Okay,
anyway, love you, Dylan.
You as a man, okay, who talked with so many soldiers. I obviously, I always speak with soldiers. I'm a volunteer. I talk with them all the time, right? I deliver stuff to them. A lot of them are my friends and stuff like that, right? And my bestest friends and stuff. And I'm like, never ever have there been question that wasn't answered with I'm defending my family, I'm defending my home, I defending my city, my country from the Russian invasion.
Nobody ever said I fight for Yarmak. Nobody said that?
Yeah. It's like if anything is anything, that's the simplest fucking question and the simplest answer in a country that is fighting a defensive war. But not just Ukraine, like any country that is fighting to defend itself, you ask the people who fight, they will tell you exactly why, immediately, fast as fuck. There will be no hesitation, no pause. So this tells me that this guy is a piece of shit because he obviously is lying. Because he never spoke to a single Ukrainian person. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Yeah.
If it makes you feel better, someone just donated to say that they're now power drinking because they have to watch this. So if I don't know if you're somebody who like shared suffering, you know, the idea if a plane goes down, do you want to be alone or do you want to be with other people?
No. Shared suffering is good. Thank you.
Ukraine. Because the logical why doesn't make sense. They see people disappear. They realize the truth is, you know, whispered among the people of Ukraine, what's really going on, who's really trying to win this war, whose war it really is.
Russia tries to kill us?
And it's not Ukraine. It's the EU. It's the globalists. And they're
the Jews.
You know, I was just at the bar the other day, and I saw a soldier in fatigues. He was slumped over the table. He said, "Oh my God, I have to fire more artillery for the globalists." I mean, what is this?
I don't know, dude. It's just the EU with the globalists are the first thing on everyone's mind. Have you ever, Dylan, spoke with a Ukrainian soldier and they'd be like, globalists made me do it, my guy. It's the globalist.
Well, of course, they open with the Roman salute and the Hail Soros before every conversation. So I took that as implied.
100%. Yeah, everyone's like, it's Boris Johnson, my man. It was him. He did it. Yeah, let's go. It's just so retarded. I don't think we need to say anything.
They're the ones.
Yeah, brain rot.
Ukraine, keep fighting to the last Ukrainian. But the Ukrainian people, the ones that are, you know, like
the people in Ukraine who are anti-globalist are, in my experience, like the people who would be the more traditional nationalist type that maybe, you know, this person would think as a nationalist. Those people are some of the most anti-Russian, anti-invasion, like these people are largely either fiercely involved in defending the country, or at least they have views that are very much like, well, I know what's being fought over. It's not a question of like, oh, we're doing this so our kids can be, I don't know, have the right values on I don't know, gender fluidity. I don't know what he thinks the project is, but
I don't know. Dude, it's like it's just random like conspiracy populist bullshit. Like the classes, the fucking globalists, the fucking whatever the fuck it's called, military industrial complex, the elites. It's such like retarded mess. Like, oh, sorry, I don't know if R word is allowed on this channel, but anyway,
you said it 3 times. It usually isn't, but I mean, but this is the unfiltered Ukrainian response. You see this, and that's the first word that comes to your mind. That, you know, this is journalism. I'm just taking the official Ukrainian position here. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, I'm sorry. I should have asked probably before I said it 2 times.
It's okay. Now we know your real position. We know what you really think. Tell us what you really feel.
Okay, I can't because you will be demonetized. So, yeah, let's go.
Fair enough.
Ukrainian, but the Ukrainian people, the ones that are, you know, the go to war age, are having nothing of it.
So they basically don't have a country.
No, they don't. It's not a real country, and that's not nothing against Ukraine. I love Ukraine. I love the Ukrainian people, but
you yelled so loudly that the Discord broke for a moment, and you just like froze in like the yell stance. I know you just cut back in, like looking around to make sure nobody heard you yell.
You didn't get to this part when I was watching.
You only got in 2 minutes. We're now 3 minutes in, so you know we're. Oh God.
What? My God! I must have awoken the entire house. Shit. Okay, someone barges in and kills me. That's why. But like, also, excuse me, what? Блять, что? What? They have basically no country. They're not a real country? What? Brother, what do you mean? What the fuck does it mean? What are we fighting for then? What is happening? We have been a real country, kind of trying to be the big real country right now. The only thing that wants us to stop from being a country is Russia. The fuck? How? How do they cheerfully announce this shit right like that? Like it's what? I love Ukrainian people. Go fuck yourself, блядь, mudila ёбаный. I told him how much I love him.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
Like it's not a real country if they're defending themselves in this way. But if they wouldn't have defended themselves in 2022, then would he still not consider them a new country? Like would that be a country then if Russia had occupied it? Or like under what conditions would Ukraine be a real country? I don't understand it.
It's just there's nothing to understand. Bro just said things, and the other lobotomite is like, so they're basically not a real country, huh? And the other one was like, yeah, dog. Like that's the conversation. Yeah, what the fuck? It's just the level of like actual nationalism and revival of the culture of the people's patriotism is up the fucking roof. Like it has been since kind of like Maidan Revolution 2014. It has been like sort of growing in a way, but it's after 22. It's like higher than it ever was. Like what do you mean? Well, anyway, I wasn't expecting that. Apologize for yelling, people. I didn't mean to. I was just shook.
Ukraine has draft, therefore not real country. List of not real countries: the United States, Russia, China. Japan. I mean, like all these countries have had draft. Like this is under the condition of the country's existence being brought into question. There is not a country on the planet that would not consider or almost immediately enact a draft. I can't think of one. If someone could tell me of a country that wouldn't, I would like to hear it.
And also draft dodging is apparently, it's the only thing he mentioned so far. So the draft dodging is apparently a prerequisite of not being a country. So
well, then we weren't a country during Vietnam for sure. There was a lot of people left for Canada.
What the fuck? Genuinely. Okay, I didn't expect it to be this retarded. Oh, shit. Well, anyway,
ding, ding,
what I
ding.
mean.
Number four. We're gonna put it in. We have a jar over. I have a jar. Let me put this over here. One coin.
I'm Ukrainian, okay?
2 coin.
Come on up, like
3 coin.
It's Eastern Europe, my guy. We don't do tolerant, progressive bullshit over here, Say the R word with your chest.
Oh, I've been enough in trenches to hear the lovely language used. I mean, what was that one thing that Igor Girkin, Shelkov said one thing that I thought carried much wisdom. And it was, the Russians call the Ukrainians Peters. The Ukrainians call the Russians Peters. This is the most Peter war in history.
Dylan, don't say that one.
You can say it because they'll get away with it because it's not in English. But it also I can say it.
This is bad.
Both of those things.
I don't
layered.
say that one.
It's those 2 things layered on top. But it's true. In my documentary, it is the most used. Like out of all the insults, it is the most used word. I can't think of a documentary. I'm trying to think of a doc that it hasn't been said at least once in, and I can't think of one off the top of my head, to be completely honest.
I feel no, don't say it. When you say it, I feel like when a scandalized mother, basically, when their child says something, and I felt that way right now. I was like, no, the innocent bun, Yeah.
Fair enough. I'll correct my language. Those rapscallions. I'll try that one next time.
Yeah. For the guys who don't know, which probably everyone knows, but it's the word that starts on F and rhymes with maggot. So that's the word. Yeah. Anyway, let's go. Oh, fuck you. I forgot how much I hate you for 5 seconds. Yeah.
For an instant, you were relieved of the pressure. Let's talk about slurs for a bit. That's more pleasant. Let's talk about that.
By far.
It's not nothing against Ukraine. I love Ukraine. I love the Ukrainian people. But if you just take what Zelenskyy did. So first off, on Zelenskyy, in 2017, he became the lead in a comedy show, Servant of the People, which the producers of which like, famous producers in Hollywood, were two of the biggest oligarchs in Ukraine, multimillionaire, billionaire oligarchs. The head, the billionaire, decided, hey, and probably in cahoots with the Biden State Department and CIA, because they needed a candidate. They needed someone for the 2019 election, and it had to be a stooge. So they decided, let's make Zelenskyy a candidate. So up to that point, Zelenskyy.
So what do you think of the idea that the Servant of the People TV show was a CIA project done by Biden in 2017?
Is there like anything that Biden didn't do?
Especially in 2017 when he's not in office. That's actually very impressive.
What the fuck? He's like the fucking eye of Sauron for these people. Like, he just sees everything and interacts with everything. What the fuck what is in the brain rot is this? He's a popular man who was doing a lot of like shit in Ukraine, acting and all of that, like stand-up stuff, and he was super duper popular. And sometimes popular people go to politics. It's known to happen.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. We elected Trump. He was on The Apprentice. He didn't even have to be popular, and he did it.
I don't want to point fingers, but like United States had like multiple presidents that weren't politicians before they went to, become presidents. It's nothing new. What?
Ronald Reagan.
Oh, okay, fine. Let's go.
He had never even tweeted any position on any political.
Yeah, he wasn't a politician.
Event.
The fuck?
He had never spoken about any political proclivities. He had never written anything. He had never spoke. When he announced his presidency,
he never wrote an essay.
He never written anything. He never spoke. Zelenskyy was just like a mute mime in Ukrainian politics. He was just like completely. It's beautiful.
He never wrote anything. Is he serious? Was he supposed to do what? Like write a PhD paper on
like
politics?
A manifesto.
A manifesto, of course. Okay, this is so rare. I didn't say it. Yeah.
Okay.
You will not catch me again.
We're not going to get the number 5.
I'm not sure. Depends.
Which was called the same thing as the sitcom, the Servant of the People Party.
Yeah, for memes, bro.
Refused to debate the other candidates. He did no campaigning. Does this sound familiar? He put out.
Dude, you're forcing me to watch the most stupidest video I have ever seen.
Well, what do you? I mean, he didn't. He said he didn't campaign. He didn't debate. So that's it. It's true.
This motherfucker, Zelenskyy, he was everywhere. His campaign was so huge. He was everywhere, like kissing babies, fucking talking with everyone, doing like promo media. One of the reasons why he won is that he was so good at it. Because he was an actor, he was charismatic, he was a populist kind of candidate, promising a bunch of things to people as populist candidates do. And that's why people voted for him, because he was just so fucking hype, fresh, and cool. That's it, really.
And for the record, he did debate. He did 100% participate in debates.
100%. There was like multiple debates when he was like super rowdy and kind of dunked on his opponents and, made memes and jokes and all that shit. Like he 100% did do that. Like it's been a while. I don't remember everything by now, but it's not true that he didn't debate. What the fuck?
You know who has a history of not accepting the second debates?
Trump?
Mm-hmm. But that's unrelated, of course. That's unrelated.
Yeah.
No,
dude.
No campaign.
Also, why would the CIA even choose Zelenskyy? Zelenskyy had a much lighter position on the Russians than Poroshenko did.
Yes, didn't vote for him. was the only person, and my sister. There are two people, okay, in my life. I know a lot of people, guys, and I also worked in the shop and we talked about politics there. Two people didn't vote for Zelenskyy. It was me and my sister. That's the only two people I know. That's how popular he was. So yeah, it's just, and the reason was the reason why what Dylan just brought up, because he actually knows things, unlike this reader. Fuck. With another
Half a
one.
dozen.
Yeah, and anyway, fuck. What Dylan said just now, that was my reason. I thought he was talking too much about stopping the war by any means and being like cordial with Russians and achieving a ceasefire. And we were quite worried that he will be selling us out essentially to Russia. So that was literally my main reason for not voting for him. So it's the opposite of what this person is saying. Anyway, yeah.
He put out no campaign promises, no platform.
Is a Kurd.
Quote I read in a sci-fi book recently I really liked that explains
What did you do?
Peace.
Hi, did you ask me to watch this? What the fuck?
What do you thank you for the $10? What was the question? It was this. I'm so thrown off. Justice wants peace and peace demands satisfaction. That is a good quote from a sci-fi book. Thank you for the $10. That's the most intelligent thing we've heard in the last 5 minutes, and it's from a sci-fi book. What do you think about the position that Zelenskyy never said any position? He was campaigning. He said, "I'm going to be president." And everyone was like, "Yay, yay!"
I can't, dude. This is fresh. This is actually juicy because these points are so dumb. Okay, that I never heard them. Like. I heard all sorts of Russian propaganda, okay? But
See, I only bring you the most prime.
Stupid.
I only bring you the most primo, like perfect moldy type cheeses. That's what this is.
Absolutely, round of applause. Let's all do, everyone who's watching, do the round of applause for Dylan, because this is top tier brain rot. This is like actual peak. It's peak, as they say. It's just the absolute opposite is the truth. He was like campaigning annoyingly and aggressively and making 10,000 million promises, very in populist sort of fashion, which I mean, it's kind of a trend. Like populists are like quite, prominent in many countries, and they have been becoming more prominent at the time when Zelenskyy was, running. So there was so many fucking promises of making the country cheap, affordable, we call people like that Grechnevi candidate, which is like basically buckwheat candidate. So it's a guy who promises, groceries, food, and, cheap prices and all that sort of thing, right? And he had a lot of that. And Zelenskyy had a shit ton of promises regarding, in particular, Donbass and Crimea and ceasefire. So that was like pretty big part of his campaign. He was very much like a centrist candidate. And, it's like just quite literally the opposite of what was happening. It's not just a mischaracterization. It's like a straight up opposite was true. So there you go.
Have you ever considered that maybe this guy might be right and you misjudged over the last existence of your life?
What last existence of your life? I was thinking, what number are you gonna put? But didn't expect existence. No, I didn't consider that, Mr. Burns.
Okay, well, let's keep that. I want the viewers at home to keep that in mind.
Yeah, it was not considered.
I think 4 months after he announced, even though he was behind in the polls, the election happened, he won 73% mysteriously of the vote. The first thing he did.
What do you have to say about that? Well, answer to that. Answer that. What about the mysterious behind the polls vote steal?
Dude, what the fuck? Is he drunk? Is he like on drugs or something? Like, what is going on? Like none of it, not a word has been true in this section. Like, I'll say one word that is true, my man. Just one. Please. We're begging you.
Outlaw all political parties in Ukraine except.
No, he's not gonna. I see.
Oh.
What, you didn't remember that?
What the fuck? It didn't outlaw every single party. What do you mean? The only party that is like was actually sort of like outlawed later on was the one that was doing collaborations with Russia
After the full-scale invasion.
after the full-scale invasion, not before. What do you mean? What the fuck are you talking about? Okay, let's go. We can do it. We can do it.
By the way,
Don't show me the comments. They're abysmal.
Would you bear looking at one or two comments after this to see what people are saying about this?
No, okay, fine, just for you. But like I've seen a couple of them, and they're like absolutely mind-blowingly horrible. So let's go. Yeah, let's go. We can do it.
Political parties in Ukraine, except his own party, the Servant of the People.
Sure,
and by
that happened.
outlawing them, making them against the law. This is, if you read the definition of a totalitarian regime, that's what they do. There's no, they outlaw competition, political competition. So what?
That's true. He's right there.
To take over a super majority of the Rada, because
no, he just won it.
People in the Rada, that's their Congress, were not allowed to run. So they just stacked it with new Servant of the People, and now the Rada has a super
There were a
majority
bunch of other
for his
motherfuckers in
party.
the Rada. What do you mean?
Also outlawed press. All independent press, newspapers, television stations were shut down. Only state.
Okay, guys, I'm really sorry. I'm going to be shutting down the channel. I wasn't informed of this.
What?
I'll leave the country immediately. I had no clue I was doing something wrong. I had no idea. I'm sorry.
Is he for real? After he won? Like back then? What? We have more independent media than ever now.
Funnily enough, less oligarch-controlled media than ever.
Yeah, we even have this like silly ass like org that isn't perfect, but it exists that makes sure that we have independent media that isn't affiliated with the government. Anti-corruption orgs, which we protested just recently, and it was quite effective. The very dictatorial Zelenskyy didn't, he kind of reacted to our protests, and that law wasn't passed. I mean, it was a dog shit law, so everyone went to oppose it, even during wartime, even during martial law. They have absolute control, by the way, to, if they wanted to squish protest because it's martial law, and it didn't happen. We were like just running around protesting because we were S-pained, and they listened and they stopped this law that would make corruption agencies dependent on the government. Same with the media. We have more independent media now than we ever did before.
It's a very developed civil society that stood up for NABU and SAPU, the anti-corruption organizations. Very independent, considering Ukraine's not a country because draft. I didn't consider that.
Yes. What the fuck? Oh man, that's rough.
That run in Ukraine still to this day are either Ukrainian government or NGO, George Soros sponsored stations. So well, I know which one I must be. I didn't think about the answer solved. How's Dylan funded this after going on 5 years? There it is.
Morally corrupt, bankrupt.
There it is.
Look at Soros. Dude. Okay, I take it back. It's a funny video. I don't know why Ukrainians are so mad. It's actually kind of funny. Yeah, it's just so fucking. You're not gonna catch me. It's just so fucking stupid, like hilariously off the rocker that it becomes a comedy at some point. Like I was mad before, I'm no longer mad because it's just difficult to be mad at something so insane. It's just like it's just a conspiracy brain rot, fucking fried brains lobotomized material is what it is. Okay.
It's like when it comes to brain rot, this is like the demon core of brain rot. Like right here, we've the brainometer is like broken. We found like the essential source.
We ascended, okay, with this one. Yeah, let's go.
Blaze, thanks for the tier 1.
Outlaw political competition. You end any ability, freedom of information, and then he ended.
I don't really hear it that good.
There's no.
Oh, you need to turn it up?
Yeah, just kind of for some reason got
freedom of
quieter.
information, and then he ended
better.
freedom of speech too. There's no you
sure.
can't criticize the government.
Nobody
You can't-
criticizes
no right to
Zelenskyy.
protest. Those are all the hallmarks of a totalitarian regime. That corruption scandal that just broke.
The type of things I've heard people say about Zelenskyy in this country
Yep.
very openly, or the type of things that if I heard that about a family member, those would be like that start a fight in a bar, you know, that start like a brawl. Like, I mean,
Yep.
I have to make a point. I have said things so vulgar about Zelenskyy. I don't want to repeat them now, just to make a point that you can, because people I guess some people legitimately think that if you come out and say Zelenskyy, you know, I don't know, like likes to have like intercourse with Yarmak on piles of golden money stolen from angels, like somebody should grab Zelenskyy by the balls and swing him around, or like whatever horrible thing you could imagine, like they'll leave you alone. That's not what they care about. The people that are getting arrested are people like Gonzalo Lira, who aren't coming here to make like measured critiques about Zelenskyy's government and cabinet being corrupt. They're coming here to, you know, carry the propaganda flag of the invading army, which is like a totally different conversation. It's like the type of question you would have about you know, Germany calling Lord Ha propagandist, or, you know, Tokyo Rose, like the type of people producing propaganda for the army that you're fighting, which is a totally different moral conversation than whether if somebody says Zelenskyy is a loser.
Yeah, like, excuse me, Kiev Independent like posts about how shit Zelenskyy is every week. Like, there's constant commentary about how bad he is and how like he fucked up here, there, like with the law that I recently just brought up that we protested, like the people, every single media station was ass paint. Like Ukrainska Pravda, Independent, Euromaidan Press, everyone wrote how dog shit that is, that they are trying to make anti-corruption agencies be not independent anymore. Like everyone, I don't know a single journalist, independent or big one in Ukraine that didn't shit all over them for that one. So just an example from like recent stuff, right? So it's just absolutely not true in any way, shape, or form, neither in media, neither in day-to-day, and yeah, it's just absolutely demented.
I was in position south near that lake to the south of Konstantinivka when the story dropped, and there were soldiers scrolling through it, reading updates and details from where the places like the Kiev Independent, from like from Pravda, from locations that they're reading and reporting about how, you know, the government wants to get rid of the independence of anti-corruption organizations and the problems that could cause for dealing with corruption in the country. If there was no free press, why is it that those who are directly holding a line of contact, who can make decisions on whether they should continue to fight or not based upon the inflow of this type of information, how can they access it so easily? How can they use Starlink terminals provided often by the armed forces to access that information directly off their smartphones, directly off the... It doesn't make any sense. I think this guy might not be reliable.
Might be, yeah.
100, it was a small one, 100 million off the energy sector, where his sidekick was indicted. He fled the country. He's now back working for him. He just not in the same role he was before. So,
and everyone shut all over them for that.
This is not
like,
a government of the people. It's a government installed. Zelensky's out of the country more than he's in country. And again, that's a pattern too that should make everyone question, what leader in contentious times leaves the country even once? None. He's gone. In the last 2 years, he's been out of Ukraine more than he's...
I can't anymore. Dylan, why?
Yeah, you're tapping out?
No, we will do it. We will do it. But like... What? It's his job. It's like literally
why not in country though?
Because nobody comes here. It's like missiles, bombs, and shit. Like it's a bit dangerous. Like only epic dudes with giant bows like Shawn come around. by ditching the Oscar party, by the way, like a boss, to drop around in Ukrzaliznytsia, which is like our Ukrainian railways, basically, right, and just hang out. That's cool, but like most people don't do that. It's his job. He's a diplomatic guy. He goes to fucking places to make deals for us, to advocate for Ukraine, to present our positions to the world. And you can hate Zelenskyy all you want, but on the front of like diplomacy, I personally think most people I think he did a good job in like representing Ukraine with absolutely abysmal cons like Vance and Trump, for example, in the Oval Office situation, right? I think he performed very well there in pushing against enforced capitulation that has been happening obviously in this since Trump has come in power. He's just it's his job, my guy, making deals with the Middle East recently after the whole debacle with the Strait of Hormuz and making arms deals with Middle Eastern countries. That's his job. That's what he's supposed to do. What do you mean?
Have you considered that he could ask for the aid over Discord?
I mean, it's just what? I never heard this point before. It's like impressively stupid. Wow. Another round of applause. Let's go.
He's been in. Usually he's in Europe, gallivanting around Europe, under the guise of collecting funds. But you have to ask, how can he do that? Well, he can do it because there's no competition. He's the stooge, and he's earned his right to maintain that from his EU handlers, from his globalist handlers,
Soros,
from
globalists.
He's got American handlers
Jews.
too, the neocons,
American,
the left, the people who put him in power from the Obama and Biden administrations.
God, man,
Obama?
So many different handlers on Zelenskyy. He's a whore. I never thought about it like that. There's so many just controlling him from different angles and.
Dude, what a slut. He like sucks up to everyone, okay? Like, listen, it's just what the left, famously pro-Ukraine, like absolutely, like famously the ones that are supporting us. Obama was so pro-Ukraine, dude. Like, he was our main handler. He was like, fuck you, not my problem. But there was he was definitely like super duper like handling this shit. He was like, Zelenskyy, my man, that was what's happening. Definitely. Yeah.
I mean, people
Obama
forget Obama in 2012 was like Mitt Romney was like, we're worried about Russia. I'm worried about Russia. And he's like, man, the Cold War get that foreign policy out of here. That's ridiculous. Cold War era. That's the way he talked about it. And so I don't know how those globalists like Barack Hussein Obama is going to be the guy who's going to be dismissing getting support for Ukraine against Russia unless they really genuinely wanted some form of reset in relations with the Russians, almost as if the Russians had interests outside of what Barack Obama believed or what's within the continental United States.
It's almost, Dylan, it's almost, not quite, but almost, as if the world exists outside of United States, Soros, Barack Obama's, and Biden's. Almost. Yeah, almost.
Still want him to stay in power. They still keep the propaganda going. But the reality is men are dying by the thousands every day for no reason. Fake war. They don't even know what they're fighting for.
What does that even mean? Fake war.
It's real, my guy. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Come around, come to Kharkiv. I show you how real it is. Dylan can drop you to Konstantinivka. You shall see how real it is, and and you can ask questions to people like, why are you fighting, my guy? Is it Obama? Is it like Soros? Is it the globalist handlers? Is it like fucking Hillary Clinton? I don't know, Boris Johnson? Like, whatever you want, you can ask them.
Here it is. Here's my pitch. Because like, hi, how's it going? So that's like an IED, but it fucking flies. Have fun. What do you mean fake war? Get out of here.
Fucking hell. The biggest war since World War II, unironically, in numbers and like in territory and stuff. Like, and the bitch is like, it's fake. Who cares?
What? Germany doing it again? Yeah, you're not gonna trick me with that. Get that out of here. I get World War II. Yeah, come on. I don't believe in you're gonna sequel this. Come on. It was the war to end all wars for a reason.
Yes, no wars after that, famously.
And there was conscription then too, so that was a fake war.
All of it was fake, dude. Nothing
All of it was
happened.
fake.
Definitely not fighting for Ukraine
nothing ever
right
happens.
now. And their leadership is also just a canard, something other than what it seems to be.
Well, I can see why there's only a 12% chance of a ceasefire by March 31st.
Yeah, he's not having any of it. He's Trump just said it a few days ago that Zelensky's the main barrier. He said Putin's already said, "Hey, I want to end the war." And
who said it?
Finally, Trump's got good information. He's saying it now. He's talking about the Ukraine, over 1 million casualties. He's talking about they can't win. They have no military industrial complex. So if you can't make bullets.
Oh, gosh, that's interesting.
Where did you find this guy? It's a fucking gold mine. It's so. I'm actually entertained now. I take it back. It's actually hilarious. Wowza, we don't have an industrial complex. We don't produce any arms, any drones by any chance. The ones that we are now currently selling to, Middle Eastern countries, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, all sorts of stuff. Like, being one of the world leading drone producers right now, definitely. Yeah, it's all fake, dude. Like, obviously not true.
Primo example of?
Do tell.
If somebody holds a gun, that doesn't mean you're an expert on everywhere a gun is ever seen and how it's used and how it's implicated. That's what it feels like. If you've held a gun, so I can speak about anywhere a gun has ever been used in conflict. That's what it feels like sometimes. That most soldiers have an absolutely perfect understanding of what they do know and what they don't know. A lot of times because they understand that their survival often depends upon them knowing their limitations. And I'd be like, oh, I know that. I'm sure there's no enemy in that building, and then getting murked. They're smart enough to probably expand that basic survival instinct to a global stage, to systems they may or may not understand. This guy thinks that, I mean, if I talk to him about like, hey, let's talk about the civil war in like the Congo right now. Tell me about all the factions. He's going to sit down. He's going to be like, you know what? I can tell you every single detail that you need to know. Just put me on your podcast, please.
He does know, though. He will tell you that it's a fake war and Soros organized it.
Well, it's really easy when you have the same puzzle pieces for each. When each puzzle is 4 pieces, it's actually very easy.
Oh, dude, like, first of all, the comment of us about not having any, it's like just absurdly retarded. Oh, shit, you got me. Okay, I'll give you that one. That's one thing. And second thing is like, he's like, yeah, like Putin wants peace. That's boring. That it's a typical rhetoric of like actual obstacle to the peace is Ukraine and Zelenskyy, because Trump is like, Zelenskyy is difficult, Putin is easier to work with because I will give Putin everything he wants, and then Putin will say sure buddy, and then Ukraine doesn't want to capitulate. What assholes, so that's kind of like, quite in that sense, sure. In that sense, yeah, but also it's kind of funny because even that is not true, because even despite being given everything they wanted, they still said no, Russia. We agreed to every ceasefire proposition. We agreed to all sorts of stuff, to do diplomacy, to do all sorts of things. Russia said fuck you to everything. It's like quite documented, and and he himself at the beginning, didn't he say that there will be no ceasefire because Russians will not agree with to anything except 5 oblasts of Ukraine, and that the Ukrainian army needs to shrink half the size? And like, didn't he literally at the beginning? Am I hallucinating, or did he like say that in the beginning of the video?
I don't remember him saying the 5. But the way he talks, it sounds like he believes the Russian position is the rational position and is the position that should be taken.
Can you click to the very beginning? I swear he said like 5 oblasts, just to check like if I'm hallucinating.
Sure.
I don't think there will be a ceasefire, unless it's part of it's over. You know, they've agreed on something, but Russia's not going to agree to just a plain ceasefire. They'll agree to the terms that they put forward. You know, the 5 blasts.
Yeah, he did. He opened it with that. They'll agree to control of Kherson, where the human safari is. That's what he said.
So it's just, yeah. So he's saying that it's Russians who don't want to agree to anything besides everything. So the only proposition they will agree to is the one when they get everything. But now he says it's us, Ukraine, who is the obstacle to a diplomatic ceasefire solution. What can you do?
He's saying it now. He's talking about the Ukraine over 1 million.
Also, using like Trump as like a grounding source in Ukraine information, as if like, well, Trump said it. So, you know, he also said he'd end the war in 24 hours. He said a lot of things.
Must be true.
He said said he's already gotten multiple ceasefires in Ukraine. Remember the humanitarian ceasefire, the energy ceasefire, these ceasefires that lasted literally less than hours, and the humanitarian ceasefire. Hell, the Russians never even publicly agreed to it.
They didn't agree to any of them, really. So there you go. So
casualties. He's talking about they can't win. They have no military industrial complex. So if you can't make bullets and
so
you know and you know beans along with ammunition, weapons, how can you fight an ongoing?
Look how like little he knows about it. If you can't make bullets, that's the problem. Is a lack of bullets. I mean, I'm like
bullets. Yeah, sure.
Bullets. That's the problem. Oh, I only have 5 bullets in my AK. No, get out of here, please.
What bullets, bro?
What does his image
like
of the front line actually look like? I want to see when he daydreams about Ukraine. How do the battles go?
It's like World War I footage playing. I don't know. There wasn't any footage because it was World War I, you know? It was a long time ago. But that's like the imagery that is in his head. Like, honestly, though, all offense. I know you like American, and a bunch of people in the chat are American. Wake the fuck up, drone era. You know, like, wake the fuck up. Like, come on, catch on. Anyway, let's go, yeah.
We're majority done. We're majority done.
Let's go. We can do it.
How can you fight an ongoing war against a superpower? And
we need help. That's why we're asking.
We send them all of our shit.
Yeah, very true. Billions of dollars. I think 300 billion we sent.
300 billion. Wow.
300 billion is the Trump's talking point. That one, at least I heard a million times. So it's not like funny because it's like.
Well, Trump's new number is 350 billion, actually.
Yeah. He keeps like up in it. I lost count at this point.
Auctioneer.
Like, yeah, basically, it's like bidding.
Exactly.
more. Like he's gonna say, absolutely, like with unaccountable. Like Biden gave him 300 billion gazillions, and we don't know where it went. There was like no proper accounting. He's gonna say that, I imagine. Yeah.
Them with no strings attached.
Do you have any insight on when when they will run out of manpower?
They're pretty. I think they're there right now. So Russia brought in 443,000 recruits last year. Just to give you an idea of the standard. No one knows what Ukraine brought in, but it's believed to be somewhere in the double-digit thousands. So,
what? Sorry,
how did you have all these videos that he's talking about of recruiters acting so terribly if it's only like 11,000 people that have been recruited? What is he talking? How is that even possible?
It's 40,000 a month, I believe, like in 26 so far, and in 25 it has been like around 30,000 a month.
I don't know if they're taking in that many, like a month. But I know they're taking more than like 11,000, 12,000.
It's registered people, not like dragged to the front. It's like registry of people. I believe that was the number. But like I don't know about the Russian one, to be honest. I don't remember. He like brought up a number, but I don't really remember.
432,000 was the number he put forward.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, to be honest. I can't say anything about this. Probably wrong, considering it's this guy. But yeah, we actually, it's just what like also like how he makes such a big drama out of it, like the people are getting dragged of all the men are getting dragged off the streets and bit into a pool, but apparently we're not getting anyone there. So why are we so ineffective, my guy, in beating them and dragging them then, I guess. Okay, let's go. What else awaits us?
I like how each time it's like you're hyping yourself up almost.
50 to 99,000. So that right there just tells you, they can't keep up. And on this battlefield, Ukraine doesn't rotate their forces. If you joined in 2022 and you're still alive, you're still out there. There's no ETS state.
If you say wow soldier, one more time,
is counting off the days till they get to go home. We talk about you fight for the guy next to you. Yeah, you do. But, your foundational, what you're really fighting for is to go home to your family and, where you live.
Yeah, kind of.
And
you didn't know why they're fighting, but so now you know, I guess.
Dispirited. The command and control, the leadership of Ukraine is dysfunctional as can be, and we again. Wait
for a second, stop for a second. How the fuck he said you are fighting with a superpower, and we are still fighting it effectively since for now years. People projected we will be run over in a couple of days or a week, and we're still holding it, and we are in the equal sort of field with them. So how are we so inept and dysfunctional as can be, and we are able, without any army, as he said, without motivation, as he said, without any military-industrial production in the country, how the fluff are we able to keep up then, by his estimations? It just kind of doesn't add up, my guy. I don't know what to tell you. And it definitely not because you gave us so much shit, at least not now, because you haven't given us any fucking shit this entire year. So, so I don't know. Yeah, it certainly helped back in the day, and it's sure as fuck does help now, what Europe gives us and stuff like that. But that's why we need it, because we are fighting a superpower. We are fighting a country 30 times our size, so it's quite a difficult task, and we do need people's help to do it. That's true. That's quite correct. What? That guy, the bold lobotomite, if he says wow when this guy says absolutely schizophrenic bullshit, I'm gonna commit bad acts, okay? Homicide, let's say. It's just what's happening? Why are we saying wow? As if something profound was said.
Even if we were talking frankly, if we were talking anywhere near reality when it comes to the numbers he's putting forward, then why hasn't the Russians just bared the Ukrainian line and bundled forward? Why is it that the Russian army hasn't been able to really grow since for years now?
It's an easy answer. It's an easy answer because actually the people who history a little bit for the guys, what actually happened, as is that they actually did conscript people initially, Russians. So it was the opposite way. We didn't. We had a lot of volunteer people, and they had initially conscripted people, around 300,000, and drafted people as well. But then they switched to partial mobilization, and then they completely switched to voluntarily one, to pay money, high salary, to Russian soldiers. And basically all of them for years now are people who are voluntarily coming here to fight and to invade our country by being paid high salaries. That's how they motivate people to do it. Whereas in our country, we are on the defensive end, and we started as voluntarily people, and then we started obviously conscripting people because the number of people from Russia is huge. You know, Russia just by general has humongously more people than we do. That's a problem, of course. That's one of the bigger problems we suffer from, right? Because they have their own people that are way more in numbers than us. They also have North Korean people that they, you know, brought up to fight for them and all sorts of things. So, of course, the numbers are a problem. And hence why we made the choice to do this whole, like, particular number of mobilization, right? To keep up with this number. And, and they of course they are gonna come here. They are paying people huge ass money by Russian standards to do this, and that's how they motivate them. But it's not the same as in our case, because we are fighting the defensive war. Our people are also paid, of course. Obviously, you have salaries, but it's just absolutely stupid ass point, and to keep up with it is a problem. On that end, he's not wrong, but not because of the reasons he stated.
Obama and Biden administrations who
again
architects, along with the rest of NATO. The Brits have been hand in hand on everything. The French and Germans, to a slightly lesser extent, trained this army, and it was the same mistake we've made everywhere. You know, from Vietnam forward, they decided we're going to build an army and it's going to be a NATO compatible army. So everything they built was to make it by the standards of NATO. And you can't, you know, the lesson of Vietnam was don't try to build an American army in another country, a second world country who's got its own tradition of military customs, courtesies, protocols, and just ways of fighting. And it's the same thing in Ukraine. Most of the generals were Soviet trained. In fact, the commander-in-chief
can you stop for a second?
Ukraine.
It's like the opposite. Like, we have mostly operated on our own stuff most of the war before we were not trained enough to operate NATO stuff. Like, that was the problem. That was the issue that, for example, Biden's administration brought up to us quite a bit, that you can't get those like planes because you can't operate them, because they're a different standard compared to what you used to. So most of our, like, you know, pilots and people in the machinery, like artillery equipment at the beginning of the war, when artillery was more relevant, right? Most of it, like absolute majority, was Soviet stuff. Was like Russian, Ukrainian, you know, obviously you've been here. Like, it's just absolutely not the case. It's the opposite. It's not like we have been given a bunch of NATO equipment and then we were like, oh damn, we don't know what to do with this thing. You know, it's not.
Where's the trigger?
Yeah, where's the red button? Like, that's not what happened. That was like the opposite of what happened. It was actually us who were saying, like, please give us equipment. We can teach it. You know, we can learn how to operate it. We still need it. And everyone was like, no, fuck you. You will like waste this equipment and you can't use it because you don't know how. And now that we are producing so much of our own stuff, especially in drone tech, right? But we also, through this whole time, did learn a lot of things, right? So we recently been in NATO soldiers' ass. If you guys know that in the like training basically exercise, we like defeated them. Like, our guys absolutely smashed their ass, right? So it's not that, like, you know, our people are such retard. Oh shit. Add another one that I can't operate this stuff, but yeah, it's just absolutely the opposite again of what he said is true, and it's just absolutely it is a problem, by the way, that we had a lot of people who did the Soviet style tactics, that we didn't have any experience at the time, at the beginning of the war, right? In this sort of like thing, we didn't have an army before 22, so to speak, right? We have volunteer like battalions, sure, since 2014. Who defended the country during annexation of Crimea and invasion of Donbass and all of that, right? But we had to learn on the go, like on the run all the time, and we still do this. It's like on the go, you adapt, you learn, because that's how this war has been. And it's just it's commendable, if anything, that our people can adapt so fast to the ever-changing, just within this like spectrum of since 22 to now. It moved from being an artillery war with like infantry stuff to completely different style of war altogether, like being mostly primarily drone warfare. And it's just within this little pack of time. It's such a big shift, right? And bro is talking nonsense. Like, it has nothing to do with like what actually happened. Again, do you have anything to add?
I just am still kind of shocked that he thinks that the main lesson to be taken from Vietnam is not to train people in American style tactics. Is that really the main lesson to take from Vietnam? Okay, that's a thing you could assume take from that. The other thing is, oh, they're Soviet generals, so I mean, we can't teach them like a different way. The Soviet Union's gone. It's not like the Soviet, they can't just keep the same tactics from like 1980 forever.
He's not caught up. He's not caught up. He's just didn't caught up, okay? That we are not some ancient baboons from the last century, you know, a baboon with a grenade. So, yeah, it's just a little bit difficult.
All Zelenskyy has to do is come out and say, I was on TV, and everyone was like, woo. Maybe.
So, I mean, if you listen to him, we are like absolutely tremendously, almost, but not. We are absolutely, no, put the finger down, sir. We are absolutely like brainless here. Like we are just like a nation of absolute brain dead people. Like our command is absolutely brain dead. It can't operate anything. You know, our soldiers are just, you know, sad little duders on the front, just hoping to not get killed and return to their families because they don't want to fight. Of course, not at all the actual fucking gods of war that are people proven to be in fighting this fight. Not at all, right? Yeah, the real men don't exist in this country as well. Only like little manlets, and women are also fighting against you know, the conscription. So it's like, you know, just we. Oh, by the way, we don't exist. We are not a real country. You know, so yeah. Yeah, makes sense that everything sucks so much.
France, by the way, everyone, is another fake country that won wars by conscription. Continuing.
And right now speaks Russian, was trained in Russia, Syrsky.
What? Excuse me?
You know, they don't...
He's saying that the military command speaks Russian, trained in Russian.
Syrsky, a Russian dude, speaks Russian. Scandalous. Let's go.
In fact, the commander-in-chief of Ukraine right now speaks Russian, was trained in Russia, Syrsky. But, you know, they don't care. Zelensky's in on the decision-making for combat.
What?
You know, they're letting their guys die in these cities. I did an episode on this.
What an asshole. Holy cow.
By the way, it's these cities because he has no clue which cities people are dying in right now.
Yeah, it's just what an asshole, dude. They're just letting their people die as if it's like, you know, meaningless and we're just killing people for no reason. Just, you know, if you listen to him, you may come up with the conclusion that it was us who attacked Russia, like unironically. You might go away with the conclusion that it's like a miserable, senseless affair. We just throw in those young men to die for no reason. And like, if what he's saying was about Russia, by the way, it would be like sort of a little bit correct. About the but no, I don't think he said one word so far about like Russians using midwave tactics way back, and you know he didn't say a single word about like why the fuck are those people dying, like what for what are they losing limbs, legs, and you know dying all over the place and getting blown up by drones into like hit directly into the ass to blown up in like a million pieces. For what reason are they doing that? But yeah, nothing mentioned. Nothing mentioned.
No, yeah, I think he must have I don't know, he must have missed that.
Yeah, probably. Honest mistake.
We had a Ukrainian captain, talk to my guys on the ground and tell us how the thing unfolded. And he said, you know, he gave this example. He said, you know, when you're laying in a position for a long time, you know that position like the back of your hand, and you know everything around you. You've calculated time, distance.
You know what I think, honestly? I think that there's a percentage chance that he did talk to somebody about this.
Yeah, that sounds sensible. Yeah, what just he said sounds like something a soldier would say. But now he's using that, what they said, to make this fucking... probably the person who spoke with them actually regrets now their choice.
Maybe,
saw
but
this
I
video.
wonder because, like, at the start of the war, let's be honest, it wasn't like they were checking everybody to see that they were the nicest fellow around or that they, you know, had
that's true, yeah.
experience that they could transfer over. And a lot of those foreign soldiers I saw in the last few months, they got the hell out of there once they realized they didn't have overwhelming air superiority or that, you know, that this is a different war than Afghanistan. This is a different war than Iraq, and maybe this wasn't
Is
for
he
them. For
talking
some
about
Iraq vets, for some Afghanistan vets, it was. But for those who left, what stories do they leave with? What stories do they tell? And I often wonder, like, from their perspective, like, what conclusions are they walking away with? And it certainly isn't something that's useful. Like, it's a totally different war 4 years and a half later.
Yeah, I don't think, is he talking about a person he spoke from Pokrovsk who was like international guy? Because I thought
he
said
didn't say,
Ukrainian.
he just says person. It's always something like that. It's like, I talked to this guy,
vague.
I talked to this person, I talked to the soldier, officer.
I think he said Ukrainian captain, if I'm not mistaken, but like, yeah, whatever. If he,
But I do wonder if that early wave of foreigners who left had an influence on some like military circles' view of the war. I do wonder about that.
maybe, don't know. Yeah,
did an
maybe,
episode on
yeah.
this when Pokrovsk fell. We had
When pot roast fell, I didn't know about pot roast.
Pokrovsk, yeah, he said Pokrovsk.
Oh, I thought he said pot roast.
No, Pokrovsk.
I did an episode on this when Pokrovsk fell.
It sounds like he's saying pot roast. It doesn't sound like he's
He
saying
just
pot roast.
pronounces shit silly. I think he means Pokrovsk, to be
I
honest.
know he means. I know what he means, but I like
Don't
it
make me
being pot
defend this
roast.
guy. Yeah, don't make me defend this guy, okay?
I did an episode on this when Pokrovsk fell. We had a captain, a Ukrainian captain, talk to my guys on the ground and tell us how the thing unfolded. And he said, you know, he gave this example. He said, you know, when you're laying in a position for a long time, you know that position like the back of your hand, and you know everything around you. You've calculated time, distance from every terrain feature, every tree, every rock outcropping. And with Pokrovsk, we knew where the Russians were, and my front line guys knew if they get to that copse of trees over there, this massive, forest belt that protects the farmlands, then we're dead in the water. We've got to fall back. And fall back is not retreating. It's just fall back. That's called a supplementary position, which you always have in the defense. And so once the Russians made it to that point, to that copse of trees, they called in and said, hey, we've got this all set up. We've got alternate positions. Time to fall back. Roger, stand by. We've got to get permission from higher. That went all the way back to Kyiv and Zelenskyy and Syrskyi. And the answer was no, not 1 inch.
What? How does he know it went to Zelensky's desk? Like a decision about an individual, like, one military position along the entire line. That how did he know that went to Zelenskyy? How would the captain know it went to Zelenskyy?
I know what happened actually. If they did speak with a person like that, he probably said, like, command sometimes gives us R-worded. I avoided that one. Stupid commands, sometimes they're not in tune, right, with what has happened on the ground. And there have been cases like that you can't deny, obviously, right? Especially, for example, Syrskyi has been heavily criticized, as you know, as the guy who's, being a bit of a butcher, so to speak, right? That he gives commands that are not always very mindful to the number of casualties that it may cause. For example, people compare him to Zaluzhny, for example, as you again know that, and not in a positive way oftentimes. So there is definitely like an internal critique and a lot of soldiers that have pretty bad opinions about him. So I will grant that one, that it happens obviously in wars of all kinds, but it also happens here. We're not like perfect angels. And there are a lot of problems like that between the command and like the lower chain sometimes. And this guy who he allegedly spoke to probably is referring to that, you know, we know every stone and every rook, we know where to, you know, we need to get out of here. And sometimes, you know, command makes decisions that are endangering the people or that are not appropriate for the situation. And I'm sure, more than sure, that happened many times. I've been told that by soldiers myself, right? Multiple times. So it's not like you know, you can't say otherwise, right? And there's a lot to say about Syrskyi and a lot to critique about the way he manages the war, for sure. And even his appointment was very, very scandalous in a way, because like many people were not pleased with that amongst civilians, amongst soldiers. And that's a whole other thing that this warm ass guy doesn't deserve us discussing, because of course, you know, that's an adult conversation about this situation that he's not having. So yeah, just for him, it's just a way to shit on, basically, to say that the command is like evil demons who are just throwing Zelenskyy. It's like, hey, yes, lie. You know, that's like his vision of that. And like, it's just so hilarious that he thinks that every paper about every single war decision of who is getting, you know, back, who's taking who's retreating, gets on Zelenskyy's table. That's a little bit interesting that he thinks that, but oh well.
I'd like to hear about the brilliance of Russian command and all of their genius decisions throughout this war.
Yeah. Actual demons when it comes to like throwing people to die and demine minefields by walking across them. But okay.
Stay and fight. And about 3 weeks later, they were surrounded, most of them killed, many of them captured. And the same thing just happened in Uye. It's a city down south.
What?
Okay, defend him again. Your job. Huye.
What in Zimbabwe is that?
Yeah, I'm sure the soldier said, I'm in Huye. Oh God, the positions. Oh, it's rough times in Huye. Native home of Nestor Martin. Native home of Nestor Martin. The great decision to have the Machno bust out today, but Huye.
What? Are you happy? What in the African tribe? What is happening?
I like to imagine Winston Churchill looking over Turkey, and he's like, the Battle of Gallipoli shall soon start. The Battle of Gallipoli. Hule. I gotta hear him. I gotta hear it again. I'm sorry.
They were surrounded, most of them killed, many of them captured. And the same thing just happened in Uye. It's
Huye. How did he get a P in there? He got a P in, like, there's a Hule Pula. The P is, he got the P, but he got no other letter except for the H. He got 2 letters correct. He got the P and the H. Huye. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be mocking anybody else's pronunciation. I'm the last person that should be doing this.
You're sure?
But pot roast and then Huye. Yeah, I think we know why he said cities.
Fuck me, dude. Huye. Okay,
do we have anybody from Huye in the chat tonight?
Shout out to Huye or something. Dude, I make fun of you a lot for your like pronunciation. So you're not as bad as this guy. Congrats.
Finally.
Well, anyway, let's go.
I found someone worse than me.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Let's go. We're serious commentary.
Serious. This is serious. This is very serious.
About 3 weeks later, they were surrounded, most of them killed, many of them captured. And the same thing just happened in Uye. It's a city down south Ukraine. Same thing. The guys knew if they make it to that position, we're surrounded. We're in a cauldron.
What sucks is that's actually probably his best example is the Hule situation. It is actually his best example, but he didn't even put in the time to like. The Google will like look. I did this too for years. Okay, Google. You can just look it up and Google. Just hit the sound on Google over and over again until you get it right. It's not okay. I'm done. Sorry.
And then you're dead.
Let's move on.
Because the cauldrons in this war. Because of the terrain and the technology.
Sure, I can.
He's also like a robot.
Drone cauldrons in this war, because of the terrain and the technology, the drone technology. Whenever you see a position, finally. That means that a 10 by 10 kill zone sits in front of that drone kill zone. So if you move up to here, now that 10K kill zone goes 10K from that point. So that's why when that captain, that Ukrainian captain said, when they make it to there, we got to get out of here. You listen to the guys on the ground. You listen to the guys who are assessing the reality of the situation.
Can you translate this American's situation to me? Like, is he saying that they were killed or like captured because the drones got closer? Like, as if they couldn't fly further as is? Like, what is he talking about? Am I like misunderstanding
he's saying
things,
that the drones can go out 10 kilometers, and so like that's why you need to listen to the guys on the ground. I don't really see how the two things connect together. In fact, one could say that if you're a guy on the ground, you can't see out 10 kilometers. You don't know that position that you've been ordered to hold, if they take it, they're now within range of some big urban settlement where there's a bunch of civilians, and you as an individual soldier oftentimes won't see the bigger picture of exactly where you're supposed to line up on the defensive planning for like major urban populations. And so, yes, it is true. You should listen to the guys on the ground. And I don't mean to like make excuses for command, because I don't really like hang out with generals. I've gotten drunk with one general and I found out it was not my vibe. Okay. But it's just like, you can't know from the position of an infantryman exactly like why that position is ultimately needed.
Yeah, I just don't understand how he went from like the previous comment to this, like what. Anyway, let's move on.
No, I think he kind of counteracted himself, but yeah, you're right. He's kind of incomprehensible.
On the ground, and they did not, and they continue that pattern, and it's because they're trying to keep this propaganda thing going that, hey, we can win. We just need more time, more money.
No matter where you're watching the Shawn.
There you go. There's a shout out at the end. You want to give a shout out to the Shawn Ryan show?
A curd is a curd.
That's Shawn Ryan, yeah? The lobotomized.
That is the host of the show.
5 quids per
Shawn Ryan.
Love you, Anna.
Godspeed to you, my guy. Like, get another lobotomy, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that will help in the other direction. I don't know how that works. I'm not an expert, but yeah, it's just... you said wow 3 times. That's all you did, really. Congrats.
T-Rex just donated $5. Said 5 quids per tier. Love you, Anna. Hugs from the Great White North.
Oh my God, thank you. I think I ruined the entire fucking enterprise over here. I didn't expect to cry, but Ouya Pouya got me, okay? It was too much. And Dylan didn't help. Yeah, so that was too much. Yeah.
This felt kind of like he went to, not even ChatGPT, he went to DeepSeek and just asked them to give him like whatever talking points necessary, because he did list it off like bullet points almost. He was just machine gunning them out.
Yeah, there was like a couple of things that are common talking points, like, I don't know, like, for example, the $300 billion gazillion that were given to us, is a pretty common talking point. You see it quite a bit. There was like, Zelenskyy is a dictator, also is brought up oftentimes, like, but typically in a more sophisticated manner, like, Tucker Carlson people like that, you know, they do it, but like a little less R-worded. But this one is just, it was like a bunch of absolutely disconnected bullshit talking points. The middle section was just absolutely probably the biggest condensed bullshit I ever heard in my life about that he had no campaign, no, you know, no political promises, and that he didn't, you know, all of that just was a straight up falsehood. So that was like a little bit funny, because I mean, typically how like Russian propaganda works, right? They at least try to insert a couple sentences that are true, right? And then twist them or add falsehoods. This guy was just rapid firing absolute dog shit that has nothing to do with reality, and sitting like a boss doing that. So I can kind of appreciate that. He was like doing the job of looking, you know, confident and smart while saying absolutely absolute bullshit. How many R words I got, by the way?
I mean, you got 7, so a little bit over half a dozen. So you know,
not that many. Not that many. I'm proud of myself. Dozen,
but we also only went for the video was only 14, a little over 14 minutes long. It doesn't feel that way.
I'm still proud of myself.
It does not feel that way.
Yeah, it feels like it. Yeah, but I'm proud of myself. I'm giving myself that one. Okay, that was very, very tolerant and polite on my end. I didn't hit a 10, so whatever, you know. I
am
do you
from
want to show
Ukraine,
me?
and all I've heard here is true.
Okay, sure, buddy. Sure, man. 100%.
It's right there. What can you say to that?
Nothing. This guy is 100% from Ukraine. 100%. Yeah. Shout out to India.
Shout out to India.
What else do we have? I can't see, so you have to read them.
Shawn, you need to interview. Sorry, thank you for the $5. Thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you.
Shawn, you need to interview a Russian soldier to get the other side of the story.
What side of the story you got here?
$5.
That's what I'm
Needs to
thinking.
make a merch patch of veteran.
Okay, sure.
HOOYAPOOY.
Honestly, though, a Russian soldier probably will actually give unironically less incohesive answers than this.
Probably because at least he's seen how shit it is for them too.
Yeah, I rarely say this, okay? But this case might just be the case when having a Russian soldier would actually be based. Yeah, anyway.
Somebody donated $5 to ask if I could make a merch patch for Hue Pue. It says survivor of Battle of Hue Pue.
Guys, stop with the when you put it thing. I'm gonna cry again.
Well, you know, I'm gonna be honest. I'm going through these, and I'm not finding a lot of very interesting. Wait, hey, look at this. I found one that said, "Did I accidentally click on the Russian state TV channel?" And it has like 165 likes, but 60 replies. Oh boy.
No. Honestly, no, my guy, you wouldn't hear this much. Are we done? I can say it right now. We're done.
I don't know if you can. I mean, it's still my show, but you're a free person. You represent yourself how you want to. I know what I say and what I don't say.
I don't know, my guy. Like, I think if you actually choose to tune in on the Russian state TV channel, you would get a lot of like horrible rhetoric, like genocidal language. You will hear a lot of like, you know, absolutely, yes, also lies, but like there would be like much more, you know, there would be a lot of there. And you will see exactly why they're conducting the war. They will tell you, okay? And here you will learn nothing. So I would say that actually tuning into a fucking, I don't know, straight up Kremlin tit, from the Kremlin tit information would probably be more educational than this.
If you listen to, for an English speaker who doesn't want to actually read the Russian papers, if you go listen to what Steve Rosenberg produces like every few days, he reads the headlines from the major Russian state press, the army press, and he reads the stories that they talk about. And if you listen to it, that is unironically a more balanced portrayal of the war than what I've seen here, just for the very fact that they have to explain away how bad the economy is in every single newspaper article. So therefore, they have to acknowledge rising prices. They have to acknowledge problems with more drone attacks, because that's the lived experience of Russians. And so they have to speak to it, or they're going to lose complete contact with them. They won't believe anything they say. And so, yeah, you could actually make an argument that you might get a better idea of the war reading a Russian state newspaper than you would listening to this 14 minutes of drivel.
Never, okay, never before happened, I imagine, on Dylan Burns' channel that we advocated for Russian state media in a positive way. But that's, it
That's
happened.
the low standard. They've gone lower than the Russians could have even believed.
Yeah, that's like they went full Uya Puya, so you won't get the Russian state media doesn't go full Uya Puya typically. So yeah, you can also I advocate for a Russian state media instead of this. It's also because, like I said, you will get actually quite a lot of quite a lot of truthful answers in terms of why they're doing this. For example, if you listen to them, I don't know, Solovyov or something like that, when they talk about ceasefire and laugh, as if it's hilarious, the very idea of them, that Trump is trying to do some sort of ceasefire thing, and they're lol, you will get actually unironically a better answer of how they see things there.
Or just how they think about Trump. They talk about him as if just they can continue dragging him along forever, that he's basically just not theirs to control, not they literally control him, but they're theirs to manipulate. They're their tool to use. And how long can they engage with him in this they're very open about how Trump has been useful for them, and they speak about it openly in the domestic press, just not the English translated press.
Yep, pretty much, yeah. Well, Dylan, you owe me, I think. So when you're back in Kharkiv at some point, then I demand at least 2 cupcakes for this one.
At least 2 cupcakes.
At least.
Okay, I hope inflation doesn't go out of control and I'll have to give 3 or something. So I'll deliver though. I'll pay the moron tax for showing you this moron.
I settle for 2 cupcakes. Okay, it's fine.
Okay, fixed rate. Good to know. You're a fair businesswoman.
Yes. It was way worse than I thought it would be, which is, by the way, good, because I'm not very angry. I don't feel super, frustrated or mad, because sometimes you engage with people who are doing propaganda very well. They do it with craft, with skill, actual skill, and it annoys you very much because it's way difficult to talk about the points they make. It's way difficult to debunk them, and it's very annoying. This is just so unbelievably idiotic that it ran to the funny land pretty quickly. So not funny that it's on a big channel apparently and that people watch it. That's not funny, but other than that, it's just way too stupid to even be able to genuinely feel negativity towards it. So there you go.
TRH, thank you for the primer. Yeah. And I think you're looking at it nicely from that angle. Another angle one might look at it if they wanted a migraine might be this is also how bad it can be, and it still somehow works for many people.
Yeah, that's not a funny angle for sure. Yeah, if you look at it from that perspective, then it's sad. But it's just on a personal level. Sometimes I get legitimately quite enraged, and it's not good for me because I get I get mad. But here it's funny-ish because as soon as it got to from the recruitment stuff, when it got to Zelenskyy's bit, from then on. Smooth sailing to the retard town, okay? It just was too...
Number 8! To wrap up the stream, there it is. Number 8.
Okay, guys. Come on, guys.
I've officially been condemned. My accounts are banned. I've lost my large fortune, as many know me to have.
Yeah. You're getting so much bucks, okay, from all of this stuff. So
to be fair though, if you do it 2 more times, you get a free Dairy Queen shake.
Should I then? Yeah. Anyway, probably.
We'll save that for next time.
Well, no, let's not do that though, because you need that. We should do that when you're in the United States. Then you can get Dairy Queen, because I don't think they can send it to Ukraine.
What I'll do is I'll call you. And I'll hold the phone up to the Dairy Queen woman and then the cashier, and you can yell it twice so they get me a really big one.
Because why they would do that, by the way? What's the deal?
They'd be scared of you. I think they just give me. They'd give it to me.
Okay. Honestly, I will say, okay, you guys and actual like a lot of like today's like America and the MAGA and all sorts of people say way worse things than this, okay, every day. So I would say that probably it's difficult to scare people away with the R word these days.
Well, you got to understand, this is woke war pig radio. You got to understand.
I mean, yeah, sure. But like, guys, I will be honest with you, like outside of like United States lefties, like nobody cares about this stuff. So
that's true. But what country do I live in?
Very, very gay Ukraine right now.
Very gay Ukraine. You know what? We'll wrap it up with that one. Ukraine is gay.
I mean,
UkrainianAna 2026. Put it on a t-shirt. We'll put it on the merch store. Thank you very much. Also, Anna is one of our Trek Ukraine ambassadors, I believe. We've had this conversation, and and she is willing to go talk to legislators, and we have actually made a lot of progress. I'm happy with the splash that we've made with Trek Ukraine, to the point where we do have campaigns actually reaching out to us to get a grading, to tell us their positions. And I want to thank Anna for taking the time to be on the list, that if I need her to talk to somebody, that she is there. I do appreciate that.
Yeah. And I will control the R words there, I swear.
That would be
100%.
That would be useful. That would be useful.
Yeah.
And if people want to volunteer at Trek Ukraine, you can email wetrackukraine@gmail.com. Tell us how you'd like to get involved. We have a research team. We have a graphics team. We have a sleeper cell. Oh, sorry. We have many teams. If you want to get involved, you can. And if you want to see where your politicians lie, we track Ukraine on all your favorite social medias. Thank you so much, Anna, for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
We made it.
We did it. And you're still here. You didn't have a migraine or a stroke.
Yes. Oh yeah, boy, yeah.
Wait, boy. I want that. Actually, that's my new notification sound. I needed one. Actually, that's the new notification sound. We've got it. I'll tell Danabelle after this stream to clip it and ship it.
That was too much, okay? I was prepared for everything except Uyapuya. Like that was not you literally, like, actually, what in the Zimbabwe was that? So I don't know, my guy, that was awful.